Start recording. We bake. What's up, everybody? It's CMP with Craftmaster Productions and Studio1Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials, pick up your premium membership. It is 50 cents a day. And do not forget to stop by CMP Kits and grab Plug and Play 808 MIDI. We are coming back. This is part 2 of Spicy Sundays. We had you'll have both thumbnails on this video. The previous one, part 1, we talked about Studio One 4.4, and now we are going to get to the spice of the Sunday. We're gonna be talking about music industry shady shit, man. And this is fun because we have MG the Futures chat going in on Twitch, and it's a secure channel, so I don't have to worry about getting distracted by by trolls who are scared to use their real account. So let's get right to it, man. So in MG's Discord, you guys have been sharing that article about that the metadata collection is the largest problem in in the music industry. So this is coming from TheVerge.com, written by Danny DeHal, illustration by Alex Castro. But it's and what I like to do real quick when I look at these is I like to kind of look at the reporter and kind of see what else they wrote about. So let's see. Danny's talked about this. Her last couple articles are the Museum for Robert Moog, Teenage Engineering's first record label showcase. TikTok's parent company. So she's a music and a tech writer.
Good.
What else she write? This live stream plays endless death metal produced by AI, April 27th.
Lit.
Okay. So I just like to do that because I like to try to understand the voice of who is presenting this information. You haven't read this?
No.
Okay.
So, I seen the hot take on it. I seen the subline.
So let me give you the kind of talking points I went through, because I checked this out this morning. I seen everybody talking about it earlier on in the week, I think Wednesday, and I didn't really understand what the fuss was, and then I was like, oh my God, this is a big problem.
Yes,
this is a big problem. So here it is, right? The problem is 25% of all artists, this is everybody, artists, musicians, writers, producers, mix engineers, 25% of all royalties within the music industry are uncollected, right? So a quarter of the money that all musicians and creatives and technical types generate within the music industry, 25% of the multi-billion-dollar music industry has been unaccounted for. And what this article is asserting is that the reason why that stuff is unaccounted for is through poor metadata tracking. So
right.
the way that everybody gets paid in music is you make a contribution to a work, you get credited for said contribution, you agree to a percentage of it used to be the wholesale sale, but the streaming is different now. But you would get you would agree to a percentage of that, and then that would be tracked by your publishing company. They would go collect that for you, and then you would be paid out on that basis. And this was very easy to follow because music was released in physical mediums, cassette, vinyl, CD.
And right? You had the barcodes to scan it, to track it.
Yeah, so the barcodes contained the data, which was listed in the credits in the liner notes, and everything was uniform. Now what's happened is we have different streaming services, and different streaming services have different programs for uploads, and these programs have different fields for metadata.
Yes.
So what happens is when, like, say for example, there might be there might be a field in title for producer and co-producer, right? But Apple Music might not have or Spotify might not have a field for co-producer. So if you're listed as a co-producer on a record on Tidal, but the information on Spotify says that it doesn't have a space for co-producer, you just don't get credited, and your name doesn't wind up on the record, and you don't that metadata doesn't know to funnel into your Song Trust or whoever you're using to collect those royalties, and that money just doesn't go. That money just does not go to you. It goes It goes somewhere. It goes. Hold up, I got the. I'm fucking up here. So
your site's back up.
Oh, it is. Who's bro? I swear to God, if I go to YouTube again, and I get a unicorn, I'm throwing something. Yeah, no, the site's not back up. Thanks, guys. Okay. You got me totally off track.
Woo. But yeah, all you were saying was the metadata is not in place to make sure you get paid.
So the metadata is 100% not in place for you to get paid. So here's what's crazy about this article, right? Within like the first two paragraphs of the article, this is why it's just spooky and I don't like it. Within the first two paragraphs of the article, they're speaking to an anonymous artist who is missing out on like $70,000 because of 40 records where the metadata got messed up. Okay, $70,000, bro. That's a lot of people's mom's, yearly salary, with the benefits included. You know what I mean? That's
everything.
That's a whole year, right? So a whole year's worth of money for this artist is gone because the metadata isn't there. So you figure if somebody was holding a year's worth of your money, nothing would stand between you and getting that money. And then on top of it, nothing would stand between you and exposing the thief who took your money.
Use your common sense.
However, for some reason, this artist said they wanted to remain anonymous because they were afraid of the repercussions of publicly exposing this practice.
Wow, 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 wow.
So what I get from that,
you're afraid to expose someone that's holding your $70,000 in because there might be consequences for you wanting your $70,000 publicly?
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes. So this person is afraid that if they publicly go out against these entities, that something worse would happen. Something worse than you not having your yearly salary. Something worse than having the price of a luxury automobile. Something worse than that can happen to you if you so much as talk about it. So that leads me to have questions, and this is what I'm interested in here. Now that we've established all that, so the first thing I asked was, how does everything get lost, right? And the article shot immense amounts of bail to everybody, because first I'm like, oh yeah, the metadata is getting lost, yeah, sure. No.
Tracking metadata is hard.
So
Creating new Excel rows is hard.
yes, so they say the article's like, oh, because it's human error. Somebody writes down a name wrong. Somebody fat fingers it when they're importing it into this, or the people reporting who worked on the song, they just don't know who did what, which is crazy because they do. So that sounding like an obvious lie, I then get to thinking, who has anything to gain by keeping this system
in place?
Let's go back. I don't want to do who has anything to gain. Why is there no standard? Why do you think there's no standard for this?
The last standard that I know about is the barcode standard, and I know a lot of that comes from the Red Book spec days when you would, have a real mastering engineer, real guidelines, and real protocol to make sure everything's entered into those databases correctly. So when you go ahead and get your barcode and print your CDs and everything like that, you don't have to worry about radio, you don't have to worry about Best Buy, you don't have to worry about Walmart. So there is an existing system that does exist that can do all of that. And the fact that they don't port it to digital is very curious. But I don't know. I did not know that this was a problem, to be honest with you.
Do you know why they don't report it they don't port it to digital? Because they did mention that in the article. I will tell you. They don't the streaming companies the streaming companies request, when you submit your music to them, they kick it back, that if you have any metadata printed on the files, that you take it off.
What? Stupid. They make you start from scratch?
They make you start from scratch.
They want you to send Shorty in butt ass naked.
Blanco. They wanted Benny Blanco.
I mean, I already know the ending of the story, man. There ain't no surprises here, bro. Oh, man, that's kind of like that one website that wants to know what loops you're using. Okay.
Oh, my God. So, bro, it's possible to have a standard because we've been had a standard for the barcodes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and what's crazy is, I don't know enough about it, but I remember when, like, before TuneCore was really big, when I worked with independent artists and they were trying to get their stuff on Apple Music and stuff like that, they would have to buy the barcodes in order to give in order to get their stuff tracked. So
Yep.
it's not like that system completely went away, and it's not like it became extinct to the point where they couldn't use it. These streaming companies are refusing to.
Ooh.
In favor of their own systems. Now,
Ooh.
if you think about
They can't pay it if you can't claim it.
yeah, exactly. So if you can't claim your money, but the record label is the entity who holds all this money, and the record labels have bought either minority or majority interests in every one of the streaming companies,
We're getting closer.
then it doesn't benefit the record label to have a standardized system, because not only are they getting the money that they jugged you out of, because of your amazing record label contract, but because we just can't seem to figure out how to label all the songwriters on every platform, then they also get to keep an extra 25% of your money.
Stupid.
So they're jugging the unclaimed money.
Yes, that's what I would believe is going on, and I would be.
That's sicko mode, bro.
Yeah, I would want to see a writer talk about that. Like, how much time has to pass that a person has unclaimed royalties that would allow a record label to legally just take that money and do whatever they want with it. Because I'll bet you they do it. I'll bet you they do it without any permission. You know what I mean? They're probably reflipping that money. What does it say? I read an article about a year ago that Spotify and sometimes Google do this on purpose, and then send back a bulk notice of intent to the copyright and PROs, basically so that they can say that they tried to find the artist but can't. Oh, spicy hot take. Spicy hot take.
Use your common sense.
Yikes.
Yeah, bro. This shit's dirty. I mean, I think that I think moving forward, the only thing that can combat something like this, because the thing about the music industry is its whole formula for success is based on the ignorance of the creator.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There is and you see it through every outlet, and even like the quote unquote people who attempt to help you, they'll take you so far, and then they'll tell you, well, I'm not an expert on that. You need to go on Google, and then they say a noun. You know what I'm saying? You need to go on Google and find a lawyer. You know, knowing full well that the person who's espousing this information probably has the name of 4 or 5 lawyers, and say, hey, here's 4 or 5 of them. That would be a good place to start. Like, that would be a real help. But you don't get stuff like that. There's no course, there's no class, there's no YouTube channel that actually tells you,
tries to dive into it. Yeah,
nobody does this. Like, I find that it is completely inane and asinine that we have so many more so many more YouTube channels that that are dedicated to quote unquote helping the motherfucking producer community, and none of you has said anything about this. So that either says y'all boys don't know shit, you know what I mean, and then you want to go around pointing fingers, talking about experience and facts. You know what I mean?
No, not the experience card.
But I gotta find out about this from a journalist who has no experience in the music industry, and then hand it down to the community from the conspiracy theory show, bro. So fuck y'all boys. You know what I mean? Like, if
trash, high key trash,
do better for the community.
Hashtag do better.
Hashtag purify your intentions.
Stupid.
Your intentions must be purified.
Y'all need to worship him.
I cannot deal with the chat today. They are bugging, bro.
They gotta relax, bro. They gotta relax, dog.
Oh, hot take.
Spicy.
My doctor said Mylanta.
No, but seriously, I think it's I really think it's ridiculous, bro. There's so many of those guys who position themselves as authorities because they were.
Because they registered with BMI.
Yeah, because they registered with BMI, and because they won the proverbial pick-me contest of placements. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hey, bro, I know what I'm talking about. I've been screwed out of money 1,000 times, but like, dog. You know what I mean?
Man, they didn't tell me I can claim the mechanicals even if I'm a sample-based producer.
Like, you know what I mean? And then we don't know. Like, this is the first that we're hearing about it, bro. CMP is telling everybody that there's a metadata issue. You know what I mean? By way of the fucking Verge or the.
You know what's crazy? That a lot of them don't get paid unless it's publishing, but publishing has nothing to do with your splits on the record sales. Like, producers aren't even getting paid for, like, let's say if an artist really sold 1,000 CDs, they're acting like the producers only get paid from their PRO still. Like, and the language is wrapped around that. Like, well, if you sample, you lose a % of the PRO pie, which is only for playing it on the airwaves. That's the only thing that they're claiming. They're not getting into the nitty gritty and claiming that 1 point per personnel or whatever that you negotiate as a producer, or that you're entitled to, even depending on which credit you get. Like, they're not even trying to get producers to get paid that part.
Who's they?
Oh, I'm talking about the authorities, the people who talk about it, the
The
articles, everything,
yeah,
the
because they
Twitter,
don't know.
all of it.
Yeah, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, bro. They're just as lost as everybody else, and that's why they defer to higher authorities, bro. So that's why
Lord of the Flies.
yeah, that's why y'all boys got to stay woke and like the brother Curtis King says, question: are your mentors full of shit? You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? Are they full of shit? You know what I'm saying? Just because they won the pick me race, you know what I mean? Does that really reinforce their authority and their command of the subjects that they're talking about? Ask more questions, and hopefully,
you don't get blocked while you're asking them.
hopefully, The Verge and other news outlets like this continue to do, good journalism and shout out to Danny Deal who did this article, because this was a really important piece of content that came out, and maybe one of those fucking genius wants to culture vulture on producer culture so much. Maybe you guys could drop a video on this shit and
Yeah,
and do a bigger deep dive, bro, because I just want to talk about what MIDI patterns are lit and which goddamn 808 to use, bro. Like this is admittedly, this is not my lane. I do not want to be breaking this down, but this is absolutely crazy.
it's critical information.
It is absolutely crazy that there is no standardized um there's no standardized method to upload metadata when we've had it in the past, and this is the reason why producers, artists, and writers are missing out on money. I mean, you talk about 25% of all royalties, bro. That's a gross number. That's not 7%. You know what I mean? That's not the
And they
that's
generate billions a year, so it's like 25% of a billion, bro. It's a
yeah.
lot of
That's
money.
it's a gross amount of money, bro. Um, did you have anything? Did you have anything else? Any more words connect? Any more reasons why
Oh,
these?
I mean that's the cat's out of the bag. So if you're streaming service providers playing games about reporting it or collecting it, and then the record label itself is an investor on that streaming platform, meaning they get their quarterly splits from the service, then that record entity is getting paid through like a funnel. It's almost like payola or something. It's like a not a pyramid scheme, but it is a pyramid scheme, but it's not. Like allegedly, it resembles a pyramid scheme where they're funneling all of this free money and they're going through the due process of this new technology and they can't track it. Oh my God, you didn't sign the paperwork. And then it still ends up in the record industry's pockets. And all that fake beef about the digital streaming services and the record labels and the PROs, when you look at it, when you really look at it, and you look at Spotify suing ASCAP and BMI for having the audacity to want to implement some kind of streamline system for them to do the reporting on streaming, that tells you the whole scheme right there. And then when you think about how these same entities also have stake in social media too, like bro, it's what we've been saying since Spicy Sundays began. We are on the ledge of a payola scheme, bro.
Now listen, payola is illegal,
Facts.
and
No,
people in the music industry would never do anything illegal. They don't do anything illegal, bro. Just like marijuana is federally illegal, and people don't grow it
or sell it.
or sell it. Nah, but so say it plain. What do you think's happening? Say it plain.
I don't know. Well, let's do the preface. Let's do the responsible thing. I, in my views, do not represent the views of the actual music industry. This is all alleged. This is Conspiracy Theory Podcast, by the way. But YouTube doesn't have the metadata for that category, so you would know. So, so it would seem that it's a cell organization like Cuba. So back in the early 2000s, they pretended that they lost track of this horse. It is my contention and belief that this was their intention the whole time. I do not perceive that the music industry lost the horses. I think the people who really run and cut the checks in the music industry are the same people who develop these platforms. Because guys, you can't do anything. Like, you can't. You can't come up with this great idea and brilliant idea that's built around other people's work in industries without being connected to those industries, right? Like you couldn't have Napster. Like you gotta think about how disgusting, like even Napster, their excuse, their fucking cannonball. This was during 56K. Who the fuck on 56K uploaded millions of songs to Napster, bro? Like really think about how sick this shit is.
Stupid.
I remember Napster. I was up there, and I remember being able to go to certain servers and people's profiles who had everything accessible. Like this is when Gateway 2000s came with a 6 gigabyte hard drive, fam.
Bro, instrumentals. They had all the
Everything.
instrumentals, bro.
They had Kanye West demos before they came out. Everything. Like it wasn't like, yeah, bro. Like for me, it always felt like they were doing it,
bro. And if
themselves.
you think about it, who purchases all those rap maxi singles? Because that was the only way to get them, right?
Yes.
Like no, but I don't think there
correct.
Was,
you
know
can't
what I mean?
Get instrumentals and acapellas unless you bought the singles.
Yeah, bro. So you went and you got all them maxi singles and uploaded them. Why?
You'd have no reason to.
Go on.
They leaked it themselves. The same way the Russians in New York would print bootlegs to red vinyls. So if you ever seen someone in their crates there's a red vinyl, those are the Russians. But anyway, that's for a different category of music. But it's the same kind of thing. It was a controlled demolition. It had to be, bro. I remember, bro, being able to type in a song that you don't think you could find, and it was always there, bro. Now you can't find half that shit on YouTube.
Nope.
And YouTube is supposed to be user curated. Nah, that was straight out the vaults of the fucking industry, bro. They can't tell me nothing, bro. I was finding all the old shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's spooky in that way because then you go, well, maybe there's an infighting type thing. But if you listen to Hegelian dialect and things that people do, 48 Laws of Power, and how people get bored and want to do more mischievous things for the sake of more profit, I don't put it past no fucking body, bro. We seen people hack their own websites. We seen people fucking, fake their deaths. We seen people do a whole bunch of crazy outlandish shit for a new start or for a new hustle or for a new Ponzi scheme. And why would we put it against the people who don't want to give you metadata?
Well, if you think about it, yeah, if you think about it, something like music is so, it's so critical to culture as a whole. So it wouldn't surprise me, and there was so much money in it at this time. So it wouldn't surprise me if these companies weren't employing resources to think tanks and stuff like that, and being like, and by the 90s saying, hey, give me a lookout, with technology and everything. We're at CD right now. Everything's getting smaller. You know what I mean? Like, because once CD-ROM came out, you could put, 250 songs on a CD-ROM,
Facts.
They just did not make the player for the average consumer to do it, because then you would devalue the album right now. So why wouldn't you employ a think tank and say, all right, give me a 30-year roadmap? Or think tanks usually work in 25 years. Give me a 25-year roadmap and let me know where this is going. You know what I mean? And so, they sit down, they do their stuff, and they say, well, we're probably going to move into a technical type of society where tangible pieces of data is going to be less effective. Everything's going to be wireless and streaming. So get ready for that. And that's
you remember Philips 3DS or 3D? Philips 3DS.
3DOS?
Yeah, their 3D video game system in the early 90s.
Yeah, it was the circle, the triangle, and the square. Yeah.
That was in the early 90s, man.
Yeah, super early 90s.
Come on, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think you're correct. I think it is a controlled demolition. I don't think this was a surprise to anybody. When Philips 3DO, when you have because nobody really lost, whenever you see like a vertical integration of this type of stuff, like you want to see, well, we don't, but there is an effort to see like all of the media consolidated towards bigger companies, you know.
That's what the
So
whole NWO agenda,
yeah.
the meme and the conspiracy theory is. It's back. It's full circle. No, because if there's an NWO and if there's a pale horse, then of course this is happening.
Yeah, but even if they're not, it's like if you go to like if you ever read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman,
I've heard about it, but I haven't read it.
it's amazing. He talks about how he was a part of this organization where what they would do was they would go to Latin American countries and they would survey the land and what they would need to do to build like power plants and different city infrastructures or different government infrastructures to bring them from a third world economy and promise them that they're going to bring them to a first world economy. And what they would do was they would come down and they would say, hey, we'll build this power plant over here, we'll get these roads up, we'll set you guys up with an interstate system so you could do commerce and stuff like that. And they would loan them this exorbitant amount of money that the country could never pay back.
They can never pay it back.
Then they would say, okay, you got to use this contractor, you got to borrow from this bank, and that's what
China's doing in Africa.
That's what China's doing in Africa, and that's why those countries down there are under like socialist despots and stuff like that is because they're like, yeah, we tried that capitalism shit and you guys screwed us. So needless to say, the author says when he's talking about this, he's like, it's not like some like huge government, or it's not like this huge like worldwide government conspiracy. What this is and what this really is, and I take him at his word. I take it that he believes this, and it's not that far off to believe. But he's like, this is a culture. This is the culture of profit at the highest levels. When you take away the humanity of it, and you just go into how could I keep on flipping this money at the highest level? That's all you see is solutions to do that, and the casualties is always art, creativity, and freedom every time.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah. So even if it's not behold the pale horse, the move is always going to be to consolidate the power, because in order for music to be more profitable, it should come from less distributors.
Yeah.
That's just that's just how that's gonna go. But yeah, man, I agree with you. I think I think the Napster stuff was crazy suspect. I don't think that those were individual people that were uploading the Lord Tariq and Peter Guns instrumental to Napster so that everybody could hear it. Why would you upload that maxi single, bro? Doesn't make any sense, dude. Because if you remember the people who had computers back then, they didn't listen to Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, bro.
Yeah, and they always try to say it was the DJs. It was the DJs, but the DJs are still bitching about Serato.
The DJs didn't have computers, bro. The DJs weren't into that. The DJs were not into that. Yeah, that whole thing looks funny in the light. Speaking of funny in the light.
Dun, dun, dun.
Speaking of funny in the light.
Yo, you gotta get that sound bit, bro, from Mario Brothers. You know when you go into the castle and you fight Bowser?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run that, bro. I'm gonna run that. You're gonna get a call from Mav McCree. He's gonna be like, yeah, all right. See, you accused me of stealing tutorials. Now y'all stealing Nintendos.
Nah, I didn't steal Nintendo. I got the Soldier Boy one.
He gonna be tight. But God, Daryl's wondering, is this more spicy? Of course, it's more spicy, bro. I curate this, bro. That was just the warm up, bro. So
here we go.
Beatstars is in big trouble. Beatstars is doing funny shit, right? So on the Twitterverse, I got a picture, or one of MG's followers. Let me see. I want to give them a shout out. Who was it? But it was Mr. MG the Looper. I was scrolling down Twitter, and because I follow MG, people who at him at shit will come up on my timeline. And as I was scrolling down the timeline, I seen that somebody had uploaded a picture of their screen as they were uploading a beat to Beatstars, and
Yeah.
Beatstars was asking they were asking if this beat contained
Third party sample.
contained a third party sample or loop. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I used the right language.
Verbiage.
So it didn't ask if it was royalty free or anything, but they wanted to. The language that they used was very clear. Did this use a sample or a loop? So that covers everything. They wanted to know everything. So, I had been kind of sleep on the Rolling Stone article that mentioned Beatstars, because I'm just like, whatever.
It's time for the old town road. I'm gonna ride this whole song once more.
So MG was like, "Oh, you ain't read the Rolling Stone, bro? You gotta read the Rolling Stone, bro. Check that out." So again, the first thing I do is I go and I see who wrote this. This is Amy X Wang. She is a woman from China by way of Phoenix, Arizona. The young lady speaks 4 languages. Has a BA in journalism from Yale. She is plugged, and she
Speaks 4 languages.
Yeah, speaks 4 languages. When I went to go look at some of the other articles that she had written, she's written about 5 or 6 more on hip hop and its international appeal, Chinese rappers and things of that nature. You could go check out her other articles. But as I started reading this one, I was instantly struck by a barrage of red flags and WTFs and
so it's dry stitching
and no's, bro. So many no's. First of all,
Yeah.
shout out to 99 Jams, Miami's home for hip hop and R&B for making the little Nas X photo inside the article. That's what's up. I always love seeing that. But here's what's crazy to me, right? So the premise of the article is the headline of the article, and this is what most people read anyway, is the music making site that can get you a global hit or a lawsuit, right? And the byline is Lil Nas X bought the beat for Old Town Road for $30 from a website called Beatstars, inside the new world of cheap music marketplaces that has the music industry scrambling, right?
Wow.
It has that is, I want you to pay attention to those words right there, because this whole article, again, lady from Yale, Ivy League, speaks 4 languages.
Think tank loop.
Okay. World of cheap music marketplaces that has the industry scrambling.
She's Chinese.
Okay. Why would Beatstars have the music industry scrambling? So I get into reading it, and we're talking about, they talk about, the way that they talk about the song is they talk about it like it's they're not like, wow, this is a really great song. It has a really catchy hook. It connects with American people. It bridges the gap between young people who might not necessarily listen to hip hop. We're bringing hip hop to a different audience. We're merging genres. Nothing
Cool.
Nothing like that. Doesn't say anything cool about it. It says the charming sonic wackiness of its melody You know, then it goes on to say that that the important part of the record, the source of the all important Nine Inch Nails banjo sample. It's really fucking weird dog whistle language. Do you agree, MG? Or am I tripping?
Nah, you're not tripping. I peep game from the jizz up too, and that's in her humble of opinions, but that's how you know she's not qualified to talk about how me and you want to talk about it. But then that's how you know that's not what she's talking about.
Yes.
That's how you know her
Exactly.
intention isn't to talk about it how me, you, the fans, or other beat makers talk about this. She's about to go talk about some other shit. So
yeah, she's about to go talk about some other shit, and like, you really have to pay attention to the words in this article. That's why I always go and find out about the author first, because it lets me know how I got to read this, right?
Yeah.
So she goes on to say that this only cost the rapper $30. And that Lil Nas X was able to put together a chart-smashing song for less than the price of a tank of gas. This is a perfect testament that the traditional structure of the music business has been blown apart. Now, just based off of the last conversation that we had about the metadata.
Yes. What is she talking about?
Do you think that the traditional the traditional ways of doing things in the music industry being blown apart, do you believe that's just going to happen? Like, we're just going to allow this to happen?
No, not at all.
Stupid.
Especially when me and you both know that the place they get the beats from, the place they're streaming the beats on, and the place that gets the song and promotes the song is all funded by the record label itself.
Use your common sense.
I think it's funny.
So who is she talking to?
Who is she talking to? Let's dig deeper. I think it's funny that, like, the only quote that she has of Lil Nas X is, "I don't know if I'm living in some type of simulation at this point."
Should they go to Yale?
Yeah. So she goes on to document how the beat came from a Dutch teenager from Keo. Young Keo tossed the God, bro, the way. Listen to this shit, bro. Young Keo tossed the trap beat under a banjo loop pulled from the Nine Inch Nails song Ghosts 34 Ghost 4, which he found on a whim while browsing YouTube's recommended section. Dude, I don't necessarily think that Old Town Road is an incredible record.
Okay.
But if I wrote about it, I would not use those words to talk about it. And she has written other articles about hip hop. So this isn't like her first article. She's not an American white woman from the Midwest who, went to Bethune Bible College of Christian Science and racism. You know what I mean? Like this no, but I'm saying, bro, this woman is cultured. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Nice.
She's cultured and she's young. So the flippant way in which this is described is really weird to me. Am I tripping?
Nah, because she weighted the 2-bar banjo loop versus the trap beat.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason.
The 2-bar trap, the banjo loop had been out since 2009. The banjo loop was never a #1 song.
Facts.
The trap beat became a #1 fucking song.
Yes.
Amy. So put some respect on the motherfucking trap loop's name. Is her name Amy? Yes, Amy.
Amy.
Use your common sense.
Yeah. The banjo loop she found on a whim.
No, but
Yeah. Like, what's she talking about?
what are you talking about, Amy?
Like someone heard Old Town Road and was like, "Oh man, that's that whimsical song I found on YouTube recommendations by 9 Inch Nails."
That's that all important banjo loop. Fuck out of here, Amy.
Amy. Fuck's Amy talking
Stupid.
about?
She goes on. He uploaded it as Future type beat, although it doesn't really sound like a Future type beat, to a website called Beatstars.com in November and caught the attention of Lil Nas X, who had been making music for a few months out of boredom. Can we say plant talk?
This is plant talk, bro. This is I think it's a Future type beat. I think he got the 808 MIDI from Mask Off.
Yeah. It does sound like that. So, so we go on to talk about how, Lil Nas X just was playing around and accidentally, and all of this is to say, right?
Yeah.
The trap beat,
she's setting up this house of cards.
Yeah,
she's doing it, and she's doing it as a smart person.
Yeah. So what she's saying is the most important part of this song, right? Because Lil Nas X didn't try as hard, or isn't perceived to as try as hard.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Because there's more to that. I'll let you do that one. But
because writing 4 chords on your banjo is like, fuck. No one does that anymore. Oh my god. Like the work that they put into recording that in their basement studio. Just those 4 chords. Can you believe it? That's like writing a whole hit song. But go ahead.
Oh, bro. Oh god. So that whole paragraph was basically set up to say that, Lil Nas X didn't try hard on the song. Lil Keo isn't a good enough musician to make a 4-bar chord progression with a banjo VST. That none of this would have been possible without the god Trent Reznor's super intent, filled with platinum intentions, motherfucking banjo loop that he gave away for everybody to fucking remix under a Creative Commons license because he knew that the song wouldn't shit anyway. So he's like, maybe you guys could make this stuff cool because Papa Trent is getting old. This ain't closer.
That was the whole fucking purpose of that project. Yes.
That was the purpose of the project. But yet, this article is going to go on and assert, because remember the title of it, the music making site that can get you a global hit or a lawsuit, right? So
yes,
just want to put this out there, Amy. There's no lawsuit because you didn't report on a lawsuit. What you did here was you postulated on what could happen if somebody who released a body of work under a Creative Commons license, one of the most original, prolific electronic musicians, coincidentally, Trent fucking Reznor, when in the 90s, when people was like, yo, have you ever heard 9 Inch Nails? I gotta play you something amazing, bro. This guy made the whole song, but it's like a band, but it's just him by himself, and he made it all on a computer. You gotta hear this. That's how 9 Inch Nails was presented to me as a kid. That's how 9 Inch Nails was presented to everybody. Like, yo, you have to hear this music. This guy, he doesn't even have a drummer. It's just a computer, Amy. So she goes on to say that Beatstars is a digital marketplace where producers and artists are able to link up without ever getting in the studio together. Artists can pay bargain rate fees to download a beat and leave it open to other artists like Lil Nas X did. If they shell out a little bit more, they can have an exclusive license. The website is the brainchild of Beat Jesus, Abe Bastian, a music entrepreneur who only found out that Old Town Road came out of a Beatstars deal after the track blew up on the music charts. So what she's setting up here is that bro, these fucking idiots don't even know what's going on with their music. You know what I mean? If you're reading in between the lines, she's saying these
they're
guys,
irresponsible.
Thank you for that. So she goes on to talk about how the song blew up on TikTok because Lil Nas X is just some random social media marketing genius, because those are real things.
ever.
So a number one coming out of an online marketplace is, and this is in quotes, pretty exciting stuff. That was from Beat Jesus, and he said it proudly. He launched Beatstars when he was working in music distribution in 2008, introducing the idea of a collaborative digital hub long before most of the music industry had even fully embraced the internet. Inspiration came from his own experiences in high school, trolling AOL chat rooms, trying to persuade producers to lease beats to him because he couldn't afford their $1,000 fees. Oh, Abe used to rap? I need to hear some bars from Abe, boy. You need to hear what he was talking about. Today, Beatstars has become more than 1 million users, and Abe says that producers are on track to earn $40 million from the platform this year. Okay, so if producers are earning $40 million from the platform, and there's a so it's saying it has more than 1 million users, your
$4.
I'm counting his pockets. So your premiums are $80 a year.
No, don't get messed up by the registered users. Remember, the registered users can be the people using the lyric pad too.
No. Oh, yeah. You're right. I need to do that one off camera. I'm not gonna get. I should have did that math before. All right. Which is double the amount, but they're growing. This is the point. They're doubling the amount of sales on Beats, which is great because because most of those producers are using loop packs. So
yeah, and most of those sales are going to the producers on the front page.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Which is also going to Atlantic Records.
Stay woketh. Wait, are we sure that Atlantic is behind Beatstars? I thought that was Splice, dude. I don't want to do that.
I said allegedly, man. You heard me. Allegedly. Well, it's whoever has the publishing deal on the front page too.
Talk about that.
Like, for instance, if those favored producers who are exalted by the platform are in musical publishing deals themselves, attached to some publishing house, which is attached to some record label entity, which all goes to the same guy who cuts all the checks for all of them, then even if they're plants, they represent a record label. So it doesn't have to be funded by, it can be in favor of, but in my mind, it's the same thing. It was like, well, if the people who get all the favor and get all the money are already in the industry plugged in because they have the placements, then it's like a pipeline from the internet to the record label. Like, it didn't change anything. It's the same shit. It's cap, and what it does is brings in more capital from people who think that one day they could also be favored, and they never will be. And that's why Internet Money and them had a falling out. So if Taz can get favored, you're not going to get favored with your $80 premium.
Facts, bro. So I can't. I did a quick one. I don't see anything about any type of financial partnership between the two.
So he's still independently run, although the play is that the producers in favor are favored by the record industry.
Yeah,
hence the Royce the 5'9", Static Selecta, and the boy on the front page.
Yeah. What I don't want to do, what I do not want to do here is misrepresent that.
Yeah,
because that would be some shit that Amy would do. So
it's irresponsible journalism.
It's irresponsible. So anyway, yeah. So Beatstars is not.
I should have blocked Amy off, right?
Yeah, bro. Beatstars is not owned by Atlantic. Atlantic doesn't own Beatstars. Fucking relax, guys. So anyway, when an artist finds something they want to lease on Beatstars, they
wait a minute. If you're trapping out of your mama's kitchen, does your mama own a trap house? Okay, keep going.
Use your common sense.
I like that. Just gonna say one more time. We are not saying that Atlantic Records or any other record label is it owns or dictates any type of business with Beatstars. However,
Okay.
if
We have no way of knowing that.
we have no way of knowing that, no way of proving that. We do not have the experience to be able to make any type of assertions as to the legitimacy of a claim that would be levied against Beatstars as such.
Correct.
However, if you are trapping out of your mama's kitchen, does your mom own a trap house?
Oh.
So I miss my chat, bro. So when an artist finds something they want to lease on BeatStars, they sign a license agreement that typically covers a standard set of performance, mechanical, and sync rights and waives future royalties. Producers who can customize these agreements on the fly as they see fit charge between $20 and $200 for a beat and keep either 70 or 100% of the revenue, depending on whether they're on a free or subscription tier for the site. I don't think that's true. I think BeatStars is 100% gives you all your money. I don't think BeatStars ever takes your money.
Nah, they take your money, fam.
Do they?
I believe so.
I don't
believe
think
that's why I left it.
I don't think they do. I thought they did 100% payouts. I'm pretty sure they did 100%.
You talking about the guys with the pixels and the YouTube monetization that you don't see? Oh,
I'm pretty sure they do. Bro, they do 100% payouts. Either way,
they said it's a fee. Yeah, they take 30%.
Who's they?
I'm checking it out now. Everyone keeps going back and forth.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Check it out. We got.
If you pay monthly or yearly, you get 100%.
I need you
on the free tier. The free accounts is 70%.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Some users, such as a dance hall producer in Albania.
Oh man!
Stupid. Why?
Oh man! Does anyone take his 70%?
Make as much as $40,000 a month. Bastion says, "Wait a minute, bro. A dance hall producer in Albania. Y'all are paying Albania $40,000 a month to produce dance hall. I need everyone to relax, bro. There's real Jamaicans you could get that shit from." Bastion says, I always knew collaboration would move completely to the internet, he says. I saw producers are completely out of this whole equation, the lowest stakeholders in the song. Oh, that's because we're retarded. And we insist on calling ourselves producers. Producers, when you look at the way that credits are constructed, they are the lowest stakeholders in the song, as they should be. You know what I mean? If you take that and you flip it and you assert yourself as a writer and a composer, that holds way more weight as far as the credits are concerned. You know what I mean? Like if I like think about it, bro. Like if I write a top line for Katy Perry, you know what I mean? Nobody could try me. Like, Katy, you didn't sing that. I wrote it. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm entitled to that percentage. But when your dumbass sticks yourself into the producer fucking category,
you got the coffee for everybody.
Yeah, because you wanna be an idiot and say, well, times have changed and we've changed the definition of the word. Dumbass. The music industry did not change the definition of the word, so you're getting taken advantage of, bro. Beat Jesus. Do better. I saw the producers are completely out of this whole equation. The lowest stakeholders in the song. 1 in a million producers can get a hit record, but how many producers are creating amazing content all over the world outside of Los Angeles and New York? I don't know, bro. Picture perfect as it sounds, there is one elephant in the room. You guys ready?
Go for it.
The issue with producers leasing music to artists for cheap, while BeatStars transactions and licensing agreements are fully above board. Okay, so they're bueno. The site cannot guarantee that the underlying beat always has its own copyrights sorted out.
She's setting them up for a dummy mission, bro.
Right there, when I read that, I was like, "Yo, this article doesn't make sense." So let's go back because
it went somewhere like
because
boom, boom, boom,
because
this beat ain't shit. Boom 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 banjo loops. Boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
They don't know what loop he used.
Yeah, let me get in here. Let me get in here and touch the people, bro. So, Flacco, Flacco's woke. He said who paid Amy to write this shit, right?
Yes, sir.
Flacco's woke. So, guys, we started out.
Hold on, real quick. She got a quote from Abe
Yeah, she got quotes from Abe.
to do the irresponsible article.
Yes,
Okay. Go ahead.
but you know how that works. They don't see it before. Plenty of people get burned. Plenty of people
Yeah,
get burned.
Kanye West.
Plenty of people get burned, bro.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you like to look up the author when you read an article, right?
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
I mean, Beat Jesus is going around telling everybody that they're producers. You know what I mean? When he knows more than enough that if people switch that and you actually leaned into composer writer role, you could demand your bigger share and nobody could trick you into that 3 points that the guy who tells people to go, hey, go doom 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 on your guitar gets.
Yeah, facts.
But they don't think like that. So I'm not giving Beat Jesus that much, bro. His site got hacked, bro. What are we talking about? I'm not.
True.
You know, maybe
He didn't have SSL on the pro pages either.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy. Anyway, but guys, the thing about it, the thing that freaked me out about this article once I got to that point is we start out doing the regular old thing of, oh, this rap crap really isn't that cool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it starts out doing that. You know, you downplay the contribution from the trap producer. You downplay the contribution from the actual rapper. You uplift the rock guy and say that, oh, this is what really made the song pop. Even though it's not it.
Not.
And then you go on to say that Beatstars could possibly have a problem because sample-based producers aren't clearing the samples before they get onto the site. Now what's crazy about that is there's a very well-known personality who has been pulling his hair out, figuratively, because he doesn't have hair, keeps it cropped short, but he's been freaking out on everybody, saying like, listen guys, you don't have to clear samples. The responsibility of sample clearance falls on the party, whether that be a person or a corporation who is releasing the content for profit.
The publishing part of it, yeah.
So what Amy is trying to say is that's what Beatstars is doing. Beatstars.
That's why they quoted the track for 40 million this year.
Yes, they're saying Beatstars. You know, everything's changing, kind of like the definition of a producer.
Yeah.
So
do that one time. Everything is changing, sort of like the definition of a producer, right?
Yes.
Stupid.
So with that change, guys, I'm gonna need you guys to understand that we don't want you to host this music with samples in it. That is what I got from that one sentence right there.
Yes.
Am I tripping?
Nah. She's dog whistling, bro. That's why she set the Jenga that way and destroyed everything with the time, the cost, and the value of the art form. And then she tried to counterweight it like the scales of Libra and go, but $40 million is at stake here. And these guys are facilitated these talentless, effortless, persons who are uneducated and authentic or whatever the fuck she's really trying to say in her Yale type of way. And that comes out mad condescending, but she's saying that because what she's really, really saying is maybe you guys should look into this platform when I'm coming up with the new rules that you want to enforce. Article 13 style.
She's snitching.
She's snitching.
She's snitching, bro. This is a dangerous article.
Yes.
And Beatstars is in trouble. More on that. But Beatstars is in deep shit. They're in deep shit. This is no bueno, babies. So, if an artist commercially releases a song with an uncleared sample in it, it is the artist who can sue. It is the artist who is sampled that can sue back for credit and back royalties. One recent high-profile example is Nicki Minaj's "Baby Can I Hold You," which features an uncleared sample from Tracy Chapman that sparked a still ongoing lawsuit. Notice that she did not mention Old Town Road, because again, I want to remind you guys that Old Town Road, there's no lawsuit involved in it. There's no lawsuit, right? So I want to further reinforce that this lady is that this article is not serving the purpose of informing you guys that you can get sued on Beatstars, because no one's fucking got sued on Beatstars.
Right.
Okay? No Beatstars member has got sued on Beatstars for uploading a sample. The information that they've been telling you that it's the artist's job to clear a sample, Rolling Stone just confirmed. Okay, so these are people with experience and facts. All right. Young Kyo's sample of 9 Inch Nails' Banjo Bit was not cleared prior to it being uploaded to Beatstars because it was used under a fucking Creative Commons license, bro. Like, this music was encouraged to be flipped.
She doesn't understand the difference between a purchase and a license and a fee. Like, that's because the language is fucked up, bro. Like, this is the part that's lost in translation. The difference between licensing something and being charged a fee for something. When you do a transaction with an artist who's going to take your raw material and make it into a new product, which is chiseled and polished, and then put on a storefront, that process that you walk through, you're not clearing a sample for them to get to the shelf, because that artist may not put it on the shelf. So it may not even be worth the time, hassle, phone call, connections, lawyer, and all that to clear some goofy sample for a $20 beat for the artist to say, "I'll go get another beat instead." That doesn't make sense in the production pipeline of things. No. So she's not alluding to that. She's slick, bro. Like, I hate when people try to be so smart, that smart, sneaky shit. I don't like that, bro. But anyway, the difference, or the things that producers should do, it should be like, all right, I don't mind working or creating materials for you, but here's my fee. If we change the language, everything changes, because your production fee has nothing to do with your splits, your royalties, your mechanicals. Producer fee is, this is how much it costs for me to send you my folder. Whether or not you use it or not, whether or not it's cleared or not, whether or not another artist has it or not, you're going to pay me my producer fee. That's what the $50,000 cap was about.
Yes.
The $50,000 cap was about Just Blaze sending you his CD.
Yes.
It wasn't about that's how much the beat generated on the song. It generated way more than that for both parties. It's the, how do you get Scott Storch to answer the phone without saying fuck you? That's a producer fee. That's not a cost. And it's irresponsible for them to, man, they're doing something else. She's dog whistling, bro. She talked to somebody. Something else is happening.
No, yeah, it's definitely, because if you go into the content, the Beatstars affiliates put out and everything, and they talk about how how the producer fee is gone. I'm saying a lot of people do not get advances and stuff like that. That is a whether it's a result of culture, or whether it's an intentional erasure of that opportunity to move in that way, the consequence of it is people like Abe putting together a system like Beatstars, producers coming up with leasing and things like that, us responding to the marketplace, And now we have old Amy and her dog whistle, old snitching ass head ass Yale graduate telling her friends like, look, they're getting money down here, guys. They're getting money down here. Don't you want some of this money? They shouldn't be able to sample and put it up on the site for an artist to use because technically they're publishing it and getting a profit off of it.
Yeah.
Allow me to continue. Because Lil Nas X self-released Old Town Road before he signed with Sony and Columbia Records in March, these sentences piss me off. Either he or Sony likely had to pay the band substantial sum of money in back royalties before the song got popular. Likely. There's no facts here. Now we're just shitting from the mouth, Amy. And it's not.
She's the Conspiracy Channel article.
Yeah. Now you're doing what I do, bro. This is
She's trying to take our job, bro.
Yeah, she's trying to take our job, bro.
What's going on, Amy?
There's no facts here. Likely would have to pay for a substantial sum of money in back royalties before the song got popular, and definitely before Billy Ray Cyrus hopped on the remix. So she's telling us two things, bro. That she has no facts, and also that Lil Nas X is a plan.
Yes.
And she's going off of people who are familiar with the matter, right? So she's not quoting anybody. She has a source. She wasn't able to confirm it with two sources, so that's what reporters do. They give you a people familiar with the matter. That's one person told me, and I can't really verify it, but right. I feel confident enough in the information to tell
an anonymous informant.
Yeah, to tell you that's what happens. So, the Creative Commons you can use it under Creative Commons, but what she's getting hung up on is that Creative Commons doesn't allow for commercial purposes, right? So that's why she's saying, 9 Inch Nails, you guys can come. Trent, you get some money. This is a #1 record. You're not gonna get him. You're gonna let him do this. Why don't they want these guys? Why does it sound like they want 9 Inch Nails to sue them for more? Because
what was negotiated behind the scenes with Sony and Warner.
Yeah, because as I read more of this, the more that I read it, it seems like she's cheerleading, saying like listen guys, you could get more money. And I think it's funny, the paragraphs ends, representatives for 9 Inch Nails and Trent Reznor did not respond to multiple requests for comments, and the publishing companies representing the artists' respective catalogs declined to comment. So you're out here cheerleading for them to take more money from this song, and their publishing company, the representatives for the band, and the representatives for Trent Reznor was like, nah, fuck out of here, Amy. I don't want to talk to you about that. I'm good. Let them go. That's the kind of shit I came up doing.
Wasn't Blink-182 in pictures with certain producers?
They were. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Everybody's living their life vicariously through trap right now, bro.
Yeah, they really are. They really are, dude.
We're not going to act like those Britney Spears songs weren't hip-hop loops.
No, we definitely not going to do that. We definitely not going to do that. Here's where it gets fun. Artists will go after whoever has the biggest wallet to get back their revenue. Deborah Manis Gardner, whose company DMG Clearances is known for clearing samples for artists from Drake to Lady Gaga. In this case, because the artist was picked up by Sony, they might have hit Sony's publishing company, but Sony might have said, this was released prior to us picking it up. They may go after the artist if the artist was paid in advance. But in each case, people are going to point fingers. The artist points fingers at the producer. The producer says they didn't release it as a song. They point the finger back at the artist. Royalty splits from sampling are notoriously messy and often arbitrary business. When Ariana Grande released Seven Rings with The Sound of Music, My Favorite Things as the backbone, negotiations resulted in 90% of the royalties. So again, she brings up this situation where she's like, bro, when Ariana Grande did that, they got 90%. Trent Reznor, what you doing, baby? Why don't you go get your money like that?
But Sting wants 85%.
Dude, that's what that sounds to me. Am I tripping?
Nah, you're not tripping. That's what she's doing.
That's what she's doing, Amy. In the case of Old Town Road, other songs that are born out of Beatstars deals, some say that the company cannot be held responsible for uncleared samples because it is offering producers arrangements of compositions not ready for sale commercial products. But
check boxes are added.
But lines of code are written. But others in the industry strongly disagree.
Ooh.
They believe that online music marketplaces should establish a process by which each beat upload is reviewed and cleared. Now let's stop right there.
Irresponsible journalism.
Let's stop right there. Chad, how we doing? What's going on in here?
What's chat talking about?
What's chat talking about? Larger Than Life by Backstreet Boys is just stomped by Kurt.
It is.
By
These
Kurt Franklin.
facts.
Yo, it really is.
It really is. Now I can't stop hearing it. I can't stop hearing it. Stop. Now that makes you stop. Oh yeah. Stop.
Not true.
Yo, we got 111 out here. We got 111 people here, but I only see 20 people talking. Who are the lurkers on this one?
Oh man.
Appreciate you, Sakim.
Yo, so oh my god, this is crazy talk, right?
Yeah.
So my issue here is, again, I want to go back.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to get lost in the plot. We started out with Lil Nas X, this breakout song. It's the biggest song. It's the biggest song of the moment. It's crazy. It's it's united. It's united a whole group of festival kids, to vibe out to a country aesthetic over a trap beat. It's a mixing of cultures. It's something that could be a great moment. It could be a great, even though it's a corny ass song, it could be like a great little symbol.
Yes.
In a time where America's in such a fucked up place politically, what I'm saying, and emotionally. That's how we could choose to use this. We could make it the Avatar. But what Rolling Stone has chosen to do is to say that, listen, the guys who made this aren't even that talented. The fucking vocalist was just fucking around. The really talented person here is Trent Reznor, the legend, the god, and those things are true, but still. And this song wouldn't have been anything without his guitar, his banjo, even though his banjo had been up for a good 10 years and it never was anything, but it turned into something once the untalented kids got a hold of it. So that's weird.
That's very weird.
Yeah. Stay woke. And it was put together on this site, filled with people who don't even know that their songs become hits until they become hits. There's no tracking. They're just irresponsibly hosting music. The whole thing is irresponsible. And for some reason Trent Reznor doesn't want any more money for it, but other artists are going out and taking 90% of the royalties. I don't know why Trent doesn't want his money. So what I'm saying is that at this stage of the game, Beatstars doesn't need to worry about their producers clearing samples, but
there's a checkbox.
Others in the industry strongly disagree with that view, believing that marketplaces should establish a process by which each beat is uploaded and reviewed and cleared. So why is Beatstars in trouble?
Hey.
Well, for you guys, if you navigate to Beatstars right now and you log on to your site and you try to upload a beat, there is a new part of the process, and it's a graphic that comes up and says, um, it asks you to document, if you have any third party samples or loops added to your beat.
Yeah, and they didn't send out a video on why and how. They didn't send out an email alert. They didn't update their EULA, and their representatives refused to speak on why.
Here it is right here. Oh my god, did I just lose it? Did I just lose MG? I just lost MG.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here? Hold on, let me get my spicy stream back. All right.
Yeah.
He's back, folks. That's your channel.
So, yeah, I was. Oh god, you stupid. So yeah, I just wanted to show this on my screen so that people could see it. Show it on yours so that people could see it. And this is.
What's that?
Oh, you don't have the picture? Oh, okay. Well, I'll just show it on mine so people can see it. Yeah, this is the graphic. When you go to upload your track, so you guys don't so you guys don't think that I'm tripping, or if Beatstars tries to act like, no, we didn't do that. We would never make you disclose your samples. That's for the artist to figure out. Yeah, it's right here. You click in, you say I use a third party sample or a loop, and that's that. So when the whole reason why I even bothered reading this Rolling Stone article was because MG was sent that, and everybody wanted to know, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like what do you think that's about? And then instantly it's especially with MG's tribe, it goes into well, they're trying to steal my beats. They're gonna find out what samples I used, and then they're gonna redo the drums, and then they're gonna give it to Southside, and then Future's gonna get on it, and they're gonna steal my beat. So no, that's not what's happening. What is happening? What is happening? What up, Marv? What is happening is others in the industry strongly disagree with that view, believing that online music marketplaces should establish a process by which each beat uploaded is reviewed and cleared.
Oh.
So
if others in the industry disagree when sourced for this article, then is it reasonable to assume that others in the industry are nudging others at Beatstars to do something different?
Bro, okay. How fucking wild is it, bro? How wild is it that Beatstars affiliated with DJ Pain 1? You know what I mean?
Crab baby scratch.
You know what I mean? Like throw the Beatstars logo behind him. Got the Beatstars hat on. He's the Beatstars avatar, whether he likes it or not. He is their number one spokesman, right? He does the interviews for them. He tells you for a year and a half, you don't have to clear samples. That is the responsibility of the artist.
Yes.
After he had done it for 6 months, he starts snapping on people like, bro, I've already talked about this. Why you guys keep asking me this stupid question? I'm trying really hard not to bite you guys' heads off. This information is out here. So on and so forth. They go and they sow this narrative. Then, under the cover of fucking night,
yes,
just out of nowhere,
out of the article that sourced a quote from the owner of Beatstars that didn't know that they were going to make this article about the artist they didn't know who sold the beat on Beatstars, by the way. That's why I was asking you earlier. But that Beatstars somehow must have read the article, or Maybe got a preview. I don't know what's going on.
Let's go back to that just in case anybody's slow, bro. So earlier in the talk, you were basically saying, hey, could Beat Jesus possibly know the content and the context of this article? And I was like, yeah, you never know, right? But yet now that we've gotten to the part where we've put two and two together, that this article dropped, and all of a sudden Beatstars has a sample tagging system integrated into their site, you're saying that it would stand to reason that they had already known what this article is about, and that this article goes against their messaging of their number one spokesman for the past year and a half.
Absolutely.
Because what's happening, and the reason why I say that BeatStars is in trouble, again, others in the industry strongly disagree with the view, believing that online marketplaces should have a process which each beat uploaded is reviewed and cleared. And then all of a sudden, under the cover of night, again, we have to disclose what loops and samples we use. Why?
Why?
BeatStars
isn't a sample clearance thing.
You don't have to clear samples to get on BeatStars. So why do I have to disclose it, even though it's voluntary right now, which is how everything starts.
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing about Nazi Germany, but
I wasn't gonna do that, man.
But wait, come on, everything's communism, bro. But anyway, listen. So, but peep how sick it is. Bro was able in the dark of the night to update the uploader and backend to capture this data faster than he can get your files back.
Stay woketh. Back to Manus Gardner, who runs DMG clearances. People have the mentality of, well, it's only on SoundCloud and it's not being sold, so why do I need to clear it? She continues, you need to clear it because there's streaming revenue and people lose out. Yeah. And because you're sampling something to create something to promote yourself as an artist. Promotion is not free. So choosing to add that quote into your article and not being able to hear the rest of this conversation, what it sounds like to me is that there's conversations and discussions on broadening the net of content being used. And again, this ties into Article 13. We don't have we don't have it here yet.
That's why I made the joke about Nazi Germany and Article 13 and communism, because I'm not being flippant about Germans and Jews. I don't want you to think that. What I'm saying is that's exactly what happened in Germany. And that's exactly what's happening with Article 13 and Brexit. And that's exactly what's happening to America. America is the bottom of the pyramid. It's the trickle down. We're getting trickled on. Pause. No R. Kelly. So when you look at it like that, and you're like, you don't even have to guess what's going to happen to us, because it happens over there first. And if you're paying attention, you're like, oh, it's going to happen to us.
It always does.
It is always happens to us. Like, oh, such and such, one of the allies went to war. Oh, shit, they're about to start this draft shit up again. Oh, China is fucking implementing, cameras and shit that can ID you and give you a fucking credit score for how good of a person you are on Twitter. And then you're like, oh, shit, like, this is so weird, bro. You know how like China really has that system, bro. Like you walk down the street and you can get your vitals and all that shit, and it sends it to the reporting. The thing about American culture is that because we weren't raised to be communism, we find ways to counteract it, right? So there's different things you can wear and put in your face to throw those systems off. Like in my city, like every time someone gets arrested in the early morning news, they catch them in 2 days on camera. Now I've been paying attention to it, but no one's been talking about it. They're catching them on cameras that don't exist. This is very important. They're catching people doing crimes and breaking and entering, all kinds of crazy shit on cameras that exist in locations that are not visible to you if you're at a store or a place like that. Apartment complexes, traffic lights everywhere. There's secret cameras everywhere, and no one in my city got the memo about them going up. But anyway, when you get into how you counteract that, because we're pirate culture, you start getting into the conversations we've had in the Discord about deepfakes, right? Because if some entity is trying to catalog us and grade us and hold us accountable for our facial recognition, thanks fucking Apple. If they're doing all of that, then a deep fake, you would assume if they can update the algorithms and make them faster, you could deep fake in real time, right? Just like you can catch a fucking Pokemon in real time. So this deepfake technology and this Minority Report shit that you're seeing happening, that you're seeing in these movies, from Demolition Man to Minority Report and fucking Terminator, you're living in it right now, bro. So it stands to reason that the entertainment industry has always been dog whistling the future, and we're just walking through it, door by door by door by door. You already know how this movie ends with Star Play, Star Roll Vito's Way, right? Like, it's happening in real time, guys. So like, what she's doing and why it's so serious or elevated for us, because it pinched a nerve in our psyche, right? Beatstars, Sample Clearance, Old Town Road, everything that we've been participating in terms of conversation and thought and Twitter for the past month or so. And what she just fucking put the dog whistle on is that, hey guys, communism is coming to you. Heads up. Party time's over. That is the implications of what she's saying, and the serious talks that are happening is crazy, bro. And it's irresponsible for the people who don't know what was happening to say they don't know what's happening after this came out when they made the fucking adjustments. Because it's a dummy mission for everybody else who is concerned. Because if you're telling me you got some heat and you know where this shit is going, and you're just gonna put a little checkbox out there and say, don't worry about the checkbox, it's just there for now. You know where this is going. You can't preemptively adjust to that. Just like when people were getting monetization strikes on fucking YouTube. YouTube was hitting 100 video channels. If they strike out one video and you got 100 of them, they strike out 100, you can't get your community guideline standards back. It's too little too late. These guys are playing a funny game, bro, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that you have the opportunity to speak up and have these conversations instead of me and fucking CMP having. We don't even have Beatstars of fucking accounts. Why the fuck do we care? We ain't making money with them. But how come they're not having this conversation? They have a fucking conference call, web chat, Google Hangout. Everybody's on a fucking Discord when it's about some fuck shit, about how you feel and positivity and making beats every day. But nobody wants to talk about, yo, they're coming for us, bro. They're coming for black creators and black music especially, bro. How come no one's fucking talking about that? Because they ain't doing this shit to Marshmallow's ass. They ain't asked about if he cleared the fucking sample that he ripped off a Beatport, motherfucker. Like, they ain't talking about that shit in fucking Fortnite. They ain't talking about that shit nowhere else. But when it comes to selling beats on in hip hop and dance hall from Albania, you see all that picture she made it, bro? She's talking about there's people who are making black music and making money on Beatstars up to the tune of $4,000 or more a month. I heard the fuck what she said. Ain't that fucking smart. So what are we talking about, bro? And Abe, he want to be representative of the culture. How the fuck you represent my culture? DJ Payne 1 wants to stay silent because I understand. I can shoot him some bail. There might be something more serious there. Because that's the only fucking reason you go around blocking people who are fucking trying to figure out what's going on. And if it's not that, then you can't be talking about you representing and doing shit for the producer community if you know what we're talking about, bro. You know where this shit is going. So why can't you speak on it? You should say that. You shouldn't say that's a dumb question, don't ask me, block. You should say, bro, I cannot speak on that. So then people know, oh, he can't speak on it. There is a fucking problem. It's a fucking problem, bro. Everything across the road, bro. Fuck this shit, man. Yo, you know what I'm about. It's clear as day to me. It's irritating because every fucking Sunday we have been building up to this point, bro. That's how sick this is.
Yes.
It's like a fucking simulation, like Lil Nas X said. Am I in a simulation? I don't know.
Y'all niggas worship him.
Yeah, it's weird. The article closes saying that Wall Street is intrigued. Bastian says that he receives inquiries from venture capitalists every week, but he wants to wait it out and see what else the company can become first. Quote, Nas and Keo had their lives changed completely. He says, all labels are scouring Beatstars for their next producers, using it as a discovery tool. I wanted to open a new door and create a fair playing field, and that's what happens. This is cute, because this is her talking now. It's up to the industry to decide where to go next. Is it?
Red pill or blue pill, bro?
Is it? Is it up to the industry to decide where to go next?
Ultimately, yes.
What is their choices here? Is their choices to not is there choices to not check Beatstars and to not find the the uncultured trap producers who throw simple patterns under complex and beautiful
Banjo loops.
banjo loops played by legendary rock stars. Are they going to do something different? Are they going to start teaching music in school again? Are garage bands going to start being a thing instead of kids who would be in garage band making trap beats on garage band?
Yes. Yeah, she's getting at like there's something else happening in this game and it's not. And Abe and them position themselves to be that way. When my Flash store conveniently got hacked and became Airbit, and when SoundClick conveniently wanted out of this particular game for the same reasons, because SoundClick was one of the first platforms that was freezing your entire page if you use samples. So SoundClick's always been sample conscious, although we have never seen any litigation or any articles about SoundClick as a result, but they've always been that way. So now that BeatThread mysteriously shut down as well, now that BeatStars has no viable competition, they would have to be that in its own convenient, serendipitous type of way, I'm sure. It don't cost much to buy people out if you got revenues up to 40 million a year.
So we're just gonna ask you where you got your samples from. We're not going to tell anybody why we're asking for it. And if you ask any of our representatives why that happened, they're gonna block you on Twitter.
It's been a gag order. That's what a gag order is. Yeah.
So, again, I'm
And then the random tweet posts about some of our producers making more than lawyers. Check us out.
Yeah, this is bullshit, bro. Like
out of all the concerns in the world, that was the messaging.
Yeah, dude. Like I didn't sign up for this fuck shit, bro. Like I said, like I got on YouTube. I wanted to show people how to make trap beats and how to run hacks on Studio One. You know what I'm saying? I like making loops, hearing people collaborate with them. I love hearing what people do with my melodies. I like sound design and making cool drums for people, and making MIDI hacks for everybody. That's what I came to do. You fucking weird motherfuckers who are posing and posturing like authorities in this field, bro. Grab your fucking nuts and read something and try to connect some dots, bro, because this ain't my job.
No, it's not. We don't get paid for this. We don't. Yeah, in a very literal way, we don't get paid for this. We're absolutely the last of that list to benefit from either way it goes, because we're not in that part of the economy. We're not on that tail end of this music spectrum at all. But as a person who's passionate about it, who's sold beats online and been part of this culture, damn near year 3 since the beginning of it, I have a lot of emotional weight tied into it, invested into it, and a lot of people come to me with those questions. Hence the daggone screenshots. But it's just fucked up because what you're saying is there's no answers for this, right? There's no answers for the Matrix, and there's also no answers about what we were talking about earlier. Damn, I just forgot it. Just like that. It's like everyone has like a limitation on like what royalty splits and fees you're supposed to get. What are you supposed to do with clearing samples? What's going to happen to the future of the online music business? The people we put on our front page are doing all right, but you guys better mark your fucking loops. Like, that's crazy, man. Like, hey, bro. Bro, what are they going to do? Genius Deconstructed videos next? Like, this should get out of hand, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. I just...
Come on, bro. What are we talking about? What is actually happening right now? Like, I don't even mean, come on, like iTunes is retiring. Like, that's not a pivot move. Like, no one can connect the shit that's happening. Like, it's all happening at the same time, CMP.
Yeah, no, it is all happening at the same time, making a 100% withdrawal from physical media.
Yes.
Because it's a lot easier to fuck people over in these systems in which there's no there's no way to line up the metadata, but yet all you guys out there that are that are sampling our catalog, I'm gonna need you to write your labels down right. Fuck you, bro. Bro, why doesn't anybody but else want to talk about this? I need
That's
someone
important.
I need someone smarter and more experienced than me in music to talk about this, bro.
Yes. Yeah, we shouldn't be the only ones talking about it.
And not just not just say, hey, bro, this is there's nothing to see there. That's just that's just the way it is. Like,
I got a music theory course for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, bro. I'm fucking like.
Here's the best part about the music theory angle about all of this with loop-based music and what they're about to do with the AI. You're familiar with AI that we have that detects sounds, right?
Yeah.
You know that I did a discussion with a woman who
Yes.
sells that to record labels.
Yes. Sells the high key one to record labels.
So if you're chasing down royalties on the internet's old town road, would it stand to imagine with these tracks out here that don't have metadata to prove when they were created and by whom they were created, that someone in old catalog and back catalog would be able to claim much, much more than what was sampled? Easily. Because it's just like a copyright. Who had the copyright first? See, a copyright isn't good if you copyright it after it was stolen from you.
Oh, God.
If the person who stole from you copyrighted it first, it's their fucking copyright.
Oh, God.
Remember, copyrights isn't about who actually made or thought of something, guys. Y'all do know that. That's why that conversation is fucking stupid.
Hold on. This is
Yes, it's what I have been talking about.
This is
the
bro,
fat lady singing,
bro. Hold on.
There's empty metadata.
This is
disgusting.
No, bro. Say it plain.
These companies are making artificial loops now.
The companies are making artificial loops, and the reason why they don't want to connect everything is because if they connect everything, then it's going to be found out that they've just been stealing from the fucking back catalog.
The whole time. Yeah, make the little black boys the scapegoats, but we know, if you've listened to music for any amount of time, that it's been rinse and repeat for a long ass time on this old town road. This old town chord progression out there too, right? I bet you any amount of money, if we took the Trent Reznor loop and I ran it through some of my samples, I'd find it again. That's just the nature of it. You only have 4 spaces for 4 chords out of possible 6.
Yeah, because you can take and you can use hip hop and say, hey, look at these guys. They look like thieves, yes, thugs, gangsters, yes, pirates. I'm the captain now, type shit. You know what I mean? You run that one. Don't look at those rock guys over there, though.
Yeah, don't look at the EDM guys.
Don't
look at none of that.
Don't look at the EDM guys, bro.
Do not look at the EDM guys.
Because that's all it takes, right? If
bro, we do it with drum kits off of Splice, fam.
Dude, we do it with drum kits off of Splice. I mean, bro, like Internet Money does it with Shazam.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And they're finding their midis off Shazam. Yes. So imagine how disgusting it is with the information that Miss Savage codes with those record labels.
And Spotify is working on something.
Yeah, and Spotify is working on something. That's what's going to happen. They're going to find out.
They're going to give you your song for GarageBand, mix it, master it, register it, and put it out themselves through themselves. And the only entity collecting the money for you is going to be them guys. They're about to box it out, bro. This is about to be zoned, like I predicted. They're about to zone the internet with consumption of media. And when that happens, all that copyright bullshit, royalty shit. What's happening is the reason why, when you look at the pulse from a psychic level of like all the interviews we watch on Producer Grind and Genius and all these things, everyone is saying that we don't fucking know where our money is and we don't know how we're getting paid. We're just fucking happy to be here. And someone's weird prayer is answered and they're about to just undo the whole fucking system. Watch it. My SBS, my no be no. The shit's about to change in a weird way. And they're not telling us. They're just saying, no, don't worry about that. Just check this box. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about your metadata. We'll figure that out. You can register with Songtrust and we'll get you 5% of that 25%.
Yeah, bro. We need some warriors, bro. Like all y'all, like everybody, all you producers with a fucking inspirational YouTube channel, like y'all are all pussy, bro. You know what I mean? Like all you care about is a little bit of fame and being able to, you know, to make music for a living, and you would do anything to make music for a living, including fucking fleece a whole fucking generation of your fellow creators. Y'all are soft.
Yikes.
Keep it simple, don't be basic. I'll fucking see you on the next one.